You wake up, you hit snooze 4 times, you roll out of bed, you make coffee, you sit in traffic, go to work for 8 hours, come home, argue with your spouse, have dinner, walk the pet, watch TV, and go to bed. That should scare the shit out of you because that's what they want your life to look like. So today we are going to talk about how you can hit a hard reset on your life and get back to pursuing the life you want. Now, I don't blame you. I was there a few weeks ago. Life has a way of creeping back up on us, letting our old limiting beliefs, our old habits, just the laziness, the monotony, going through life without a purpose, just kind of letting it go by. That catches up with you. But there comes a time where you need to wake up and you need to get back on the horse. So today we're going to talk about some simple things that you can do to get back on your path. And if you're lacking some direction, you're lacking some clarity, we can talk about how you can unlock the best version of yourself, pursue more from your life, and tools that you can use to enhance just your overall experience. Now, I'm chilling right now. Normally, we are set up looking cool with our podcast mic. We got a plan. We're talking high-level spirituality. We're talking high-level business. But today, it's couch time. This is going to be episode 1 of something. It's just going to be my talk show because I feel like it's important to have a real conversation about life, a real conversation about how your life could look if you don't do anything about it. So we're going to be chilling. Got some music I love on the back, chilling on my couch, got some talking points that we're going to touch on. But the first thing that I want to start with is how you can hit a hard reset on your life and how I did it for myself headed into the new year. Now, it's January 15th as I'm making this video. Headed into the holidays, I found myself doing things I should not be doing. I found myself eating too many treats, drinking alcohol. I was sober for 6 months and I had some drinks, spending too much time chasing tail, hanging out with some girls, just really indulging in myself, and I was getting lazy. It felt like life was just kind of happening to me, that there was no purpose, there was too much pleasure, and that is not good for your mind. That was not good for my mind, and I needed to do something about it because I run my own business. I've got a few clients. I have great fitness goals for myself. I mean, I went on like a 40-pound weight loss journey over the last year, and I found myself kind of, hey, lay off the burritos. You know, living in San Diego, the Mexican food is great. So it's just easy to say yes. When the boys are back in town, we go to the beach, play some spike ball, play some sports. The burrito is always enticing. But I needed to get back on track because life, the sun will rise, the moon will come out, all not waiting for you. Regardless of what you do, time goes on, meaning that we can sit around waiting for life to happen, or we can do something about it. So let's talk about doing something about it. The first realization I had is that I'm not going to be able to get anything done if my mind controls me, if I am a slave to another master, right? And this happened when your mind is programmed. Because if you think about it, we get pleasure from consumption. So if we're consuming media, we're consuming music, we're consuming ideas, we're consuming advice from other people that do not serve us, we are allowing these external sources to kind of program an outcome that is against our will. How could they know our values, our goals, and how have they been able to change things in their own life? So why would I be taking advice from you? Now, the first thing we need to do is unplug. Unplug from the noise of life. Because life has a way of creeping up on us, and it's like the devil whispering in your ear. It's the collective unconscious. It's just the way life goes. Hey, you can chill. You can have that glass of wine. You can eat that Christmas cookie. No, I can't actually. Because of what it does to my psyche, because of what it does to my self-respect, because of what it does to my goals for myself. Now, trust me, I'm a big back at heart. I love indulging in things. By no means am I a balanced individual. I'm actually an extremist. So I can't do the whole balance thing. Like, if my roommate bakes brownies, I can't just have a piece. Nah, I'm going to try and eat the whole thing in a day. That's just the extremist nature of myself. So it's going to be important that you understand the type of person you are. You understand the vision you have for yourself, the goals you want to execute on, and what it's going to take to get there. Now, life has a weird way of putting us through these cycles to teach us lessons. I believe they're karmic loops, right? People think that karma is something that we carry with us into the next life. But if you really think about it, we're always evolving. We're always experiencing a new life for ourselves. Who I was 5 years ago is not who I was today, meaning that, hey, I had to enter a new paradigm, become a new person, adopt new habits, adopt new beliefs. How could that old version of me have been the vehicle to get me to where I want to go? Now, once we kind of unplug, we silence the noise, it's time to silence ourself. This time around, I realized, hey, I'm not going to adopt a scarcity mindset. I'm not going to adopt a fearful mindset. I'm not going to adopt the normal thing I do, panicking, because your ego is going to look for solutions. It's like you're drowning at sea. You're looking for that life vest. You're looking for that life vest. No, I'm drowning. Save me, save me, save me. This is why in lifeguard school, they're taught to protect you on their back. So they're going to swim backwards so you can't hold on to them and drown yourself too. Now, you have to make sure that you're not going to let other people drown you and you're not going to drown yourself, which is why mental stillness and mental clarity is going to be so important. Now, that doesn't mean you need a plan just yet. That means that you need peace of mind. There's a quote that was talked about in a Ryan Holiday book called Stillness is the Key. And what he says is something along the lines of, how can you see clearly when the waters are muddied? Right? Think about it. Think about a lake. Think about a reservoir. If you're moving through, shuffling your feet, it's throwing all this sand up, so the water's not clear. But if the water is still, the tide is calm, nature itself is still, the water is clear. You can see through. This is something we need to bring into our own life. Because if we don't have the clarity to make the decision, or at least feel in our gut what's right for us, then we're going to be reactive. Reactive is, oh my God, I'm panicking. I need a solution. I'm just going to do anything because I think I need something to survive. How is that actually what you need for yourself? That's kind of the whole idea of like working hard and like doing nothing. It's the idea that it's not all about busy work. It's about leveraged work. It's about working with intention. It's about working with clarity. It's about being in alignment with the things we do for ourselves. Now, the third thing you're going to have to do when you have this silence, I'm grateful. I've meditated and journaled every day for 15 days. I found my clarity a lot sooner than that, but I'm not going to give up on that foundational thing I've been doing for myself and finding clarity and finding peace in the chaos of the day, because it's something that has got me to where I want to be. Now, we're 2 weeks into the journey. If I stopped, that just kind of opens the door for me to fall victim to old ways of being. We can't do that. We're making a commitment to ourselves. We're demanding more from ourselves. We want more from this life. We understand that life itself is very short. Think about it. This thing we got going on here, whatever it is, as crazy it is going to end. And that should scare the shit out of you. Because you have this unlimited potential within you. You have this version of yourself that you know exists. And what if you don't bring them out? I saw this thing that regret is meeting the version of ourself that we could have been on our deathbed and realizing we weren't even his shadow. Let me say that again. Regret on your deathbed is going to be when you meet the version of yourself that the Creator wanted you to be, and you weren't even his shadow. That's why it's so important to hit a hard reset on your life. Not because you're supposed to live some perfect life or expect perfection from yourself, but because the whole point of this journey is to get back on the horse. When you get knocked off, you get back on. Rocky says, you knock me down 8 times, I'm standing up 9. That's the name of the game. That's what it means to be human. That's where all the wisdom is. We talk about karmic loops. Hey, we're going around participating in these limiting beliefs and old habits. If you start to increase your level of awareness, you unlock a transcended state of mind that can make decisions, that can operate in the 3D world from a 4D place and create a certain outcome for yourself. That's why the spiritual symbol is a spiral. Because, hey, we're always going to be on this loop, the journey of life. But the more awareness you have, the more you're going to see. Each turn looks a little different. You know how to handle the ups and downs, the waves, a little unique in their own right, but you have the skills to serve yourself along this journey. That's what it's about. So, 1, silence the world. 2, silence yourself. 3, get clarity on what it actually is you want, right? This is what alignment is. So, when I was 21, I started an e-commerce clothing brand. It did really well. It was called Better Days, BETTERDAZE Co. You can probably look it up right now. We had 70,000 followers on TikTok. It was a mental health brand, and it started to do really well. I've always wanted to run an online business. I've always wanted to make money online. I've never wanted to work for someone. I've always wanted to have freedom, right? But then I went $80,000 in debt. In the process of that journey, I learned I don't want the recognition. I don't want to be put on a pedestal, because that creates a version of myself where I become a clown to my own circus. I don't want that. That's cool. I see a bunch of people chasing the status, the recognition, the success. Some of that I don't want, but there's some wisdom that I got that I do want, like the freedom, like the confidence in myself, the financial stability that I do want to bring with me. Now, I was in the trenches, $80,000 in debt. I was depressed, 40 pounds overweight, smoking, drinking, got cheated on by a significant other of mine. Life was not looking good in 2022 when I graduated college. Not whatsoever. It took me the longest time to build back. 2022, I moved back in with my mom around June, May was when I got out of college, June. And this is when we started rebuilding. I didn't move out into my own place until December 2024, meaning 18 months. I had to build back from a grave I dug for myself. And everything I'm describing to you right now about hitting that hard reset on your life is true. It worked for me, and it's going to work for you. You notice how I'm not telling you all these crazy things everyone else tells you, like, hey, you need to sit down, you need to journal every day, you need to do this, you need to do that. No. I don't think people have suffered enough to where they have the anxiety and depression where they literally can't do anything. Because when it gets that bad, when it gets that heavy, when you have that much weight and life is sitting on you so heavy you can't get out of bed and your mom got to come sit down next to you because she doesn't know what's going to happen to her son, that's when shit gets gnarly. So it's actually about forgiving ourselves, accepting that even though we're there, it's not where we have to be. That we have the power to change, that we have the power to grow, that we have the power to learn, to evolve, to integrate that version of ourselves that fell, to pick him back up and walk with him and say, look at you now, let's keep going. That's why they talk about integrating the shadow. How are you going to have full power in this moment? How are you going to attract all the energy that you are now if you leave versions of yourself that are traumatized in the past? That version of myself in 2022, shit, there might even still be little fragments of me back there that I've been trying to pick up this entire way. Hey, that's not who you are. That's just part of the hero's journey on who you're going to be. You see how it all starts with your mind? It all starts with your ability to think and grow rich. Napoleon Hill, the book, Think and Grow Rich. I just started rereading it. And the most important concepts I'm pulling from it is that if you have an idea of where you want to go, you're 50% done. The second half is having an unwavering confidence and desire, something burning inside of you that it doesn't make sense, that it's delusional, that no matter what life throws your way, you're going to be willing to overcome that. Kind of got on a little tangent here, but I think it's all important things that we want to touch on, right? This all factors into finding alignment for ourselves. Because if I didn't learn from the, hey, smoking weed drinking, being lazy and judging myself and being a victim to my own reality doesn't serve me and it's something that I don't want, then I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you with this story to tell. Right? I realize what I don't want so I can start to do more of what I do want. What I do want. After I got out of debt, moved into my own place, overcame all those things, we're going to be talking about more of that journey on the channel going forward. But I pulled myself out by starting another business where I monetize creators on the internet. And I did that for the last 16 months of my life. I went from $80,000 in debt to $1.5 million, 90 something percent profit margin. Worst case, 85% profit margin. That's like $1.3 million in profit running a creator business in 15 months, 16 months. That's crazy. Now, God bless the people that I worked with. They have such a special place in my heart. But in the last week, we decided to part ways. So I'm a fresh, clean slate right now. I'm creating this episode about hitting a hard reset on my life when I'm hitting a hard reset on my life. Life is not logical by any means. There's a book called Power versus Force by Dr. David R. Hawkins. And one of the concepts that he talks about is like, we're programmed to think that life happens in an A, B, C type of manner, but it actually does not happen in that type of way. That our physical experience, right, this plane of effect is what they talk about in esoteric texts. We have a cause and we have effect. The physical world is the plane of effect. The plane of cause is the mental, the spiritual. That 4D realm where we change how we think, how we feel, how we behave, how we act. That's actually what's going to impact the physical world. But what if I told you that it's a little simpler than that? That if we're able to change our resonant frequency, right, the way we feel about our life, because you could put on a smile, but you could be depressed. I'm sure 9 out of 10 people watching this have felt like that at some point. Where you have to go be there for a family event. You have to show up to work. You got to do something you just don't want to do. And life is heavy and you got to pretend you care, but you do not want to be there doing that. You are signaling that frequency to the universe. The one universal joke that catches us all in the end is like, hey, you can't lie to the universe. Energy is the language of the universe. So that's what we got to use when we got to dig ourselves out of these holes and demand more for ourselves and find alignment, right? Alignment is a unique concept. So we got to go full circle on it. That's why I'm touching on all these points, because you're going to start to connect all the pieces. When you are aligned with the frequency of what you want, you have power, right? And higher level frequencies are things like gratitude, love. It is not lust and greed and anger and scarcity and fear. That is the lower side of the spectrum. That's why in a book like The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn, she has a quote where she goes, faith is inverted fear and fear is inverted faith. That's the concept that hot and cold is temperature, just two opposite sides of the spectrum. You see where I'm going with this? This is why we have the duality, man, because you can be a victim or a victor. That's why this pillow has the checkers, the black and white. Black and white, duality of man. You have a choice. But the secret is that you don't want to play that game. You don't want to play the game of chess that is the physical world. You want to use powers beyond yourself to change your life, to manifest more for yourself, to demand more from your experience. I spent 15 months of my life working in the creator economy. And the biggest thing I learned is that everything we're looking for is right in front of us. I wrote a piece of content in the YouTube video that was posted today, and I said, it's not about looking at how far you have to go, it's about looking at how far you've come. And that is a mindset we want to bring to life. Because normally all the things you need to make your life better, you have right in front of you. We're in the present moment. There's nothing about the future that we can grab and use now, right? That version of myself that I know has got tens of millions of dollars, he's not lending me any of that money right now. So we got to use the tools we have. And the tool I have is my voice, my wisdom, my experience, my intention, my love and care for the people that choose to sit with me here on my couch and talk about life and listen to some 25-year-old kid ramble. That's what I have. So that's what we're using. And that's what you need to use. Once you get clarity on where you want to go and the alignment you have, and you started to find some stillness in your process, the path starts to unfold itself. That's kind of what's magical about once you start to dive into the spiritual side of things. Like, you realize life has a natural flow, right? Life goes on, and it's about being an observer, a present individual experiencing it as it happens, riding the waves, not fighting it, right? Because fighting it is rigid. You're holding so tight onto the sponge, you can't let go of it and leave room for it to fill up with something more. You're focused so much on opening the locked door, you don't realize that the next one's unlocked and open and waiting for you to walk through. That's why, even though my best clients that we found the most success with were parting ways, I know that there's a door open for me. And in the video that I just posted about finding your ikigai, right, or how to create your dream life in 2025, I talk about the reality where you can do what you love, do what the world needs, get paid to do it, and do what you're good at. Those four things come into a harmonious crescendo. And that is the Japanese concept of the ikigai. Now, the ikigai is something that contributes to the blue zones in the world, right? Blue zones: Okinawa, Japan; Loma Linda, California; Sardinia; the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica; Sardinia's in Italy. And then the fifth one is kind of slipping my mind right now: Ikaria, Greece. Those are the 5 zones in the world with the happiest, most fulfilled individuals living the life that they want to live. They live the longest, they experience the most fulfillment, they experience the most happiness. I started this podcast by talking about wake up, snooze 4 times, drink coffee, sit in traffic, go to work for 8 hours. The people experiencing that are not living in the blue zone, and I hate to tell you the truth. So if you're not where you want to be, but you know there is more, that's why I hope this video serves you, because you can hit that hard reset. It's about knowing that there is a version of life that you want to experience every day, and you're going to love it. You are going to love it. It's about your ikigai. That's what the alignment is, right? That contributes so much to our experience. Doing what you love, doing what you're good at, doing what the world needs, and doing what you can get paid for. You know how many boxes you check off of filming if you can start living like that? Now, I know I talk a lot about a mindset, a lot about spirituality, but the creator economy and working with these creators have taught me that that reality exists. And it is readily available to every person. That's why I've been starting to make content, because I want that for myself. I no longer want to be the phantom behind the brands. I don't want to have to be rigid and control people and tell them, hey, it has to go like this. I want to have complete control of my brand. And that's what we're going to do. And as I evolve this brand, I'm going to talk about everything that I think is going to serve me on my path, that has served me on my path, and that I think will serve you on your path. And one of those concepts is ikigai. But deeper than that, more broader than that, it's the fact that if you're upset with your work, you can totally change that. Let's, off the top of my dome, rip some little business models, little startup ideas that you can run with the 2 industries that are going to be here forever, or at least until the world comes crumbling down. We have artificial intelligence, and we have the creator economy or personal brand. Now, these 2 are going to be the everlasting niches or industries you want to be in, because AI is going to replace a lot of the workforce, a lot of the monotonous tasks. So we're going to have less like admin, boring jobs, and we're going to start to experience a lot more creativity as a species, right? Which is great. If you think about it, that opens up the door for us to kind of walk into our authenticity. That opens the door for us to start doing what we love. Everyone's like, AI is going to be the end of the world. It could be, but it could also be the thing that saves humanity. And that's what I want to challenge you. A thought experiment I want to challenge you with is, what if it all works out? Because that's the concept in Think and Grow Rich, is what if it all works out? What if everything goes as it's supposed to? Let me let you in on a little secret. Slow down. Watch nature. Watch life. Pay attention to the things that they teach you in your different religions or faiths. That there is a perfect harmony to this experience. A symphony, some may say. The universe. One song. That's what it literally translates to. So meaning that everything that we experience here is meant to be as it is, and we cannot change that. We can ride the waves. We can take advantage of them, which is why I want you to take advantage of artificial intelligence and personal brand and the creator economy. We're not going to have traditional jobs anymore where you're an admin assistant and you're supposed to book my meetings, schedule my travel, handle my desk, my papers, all that BS. That's not going to be a job anymore. AI is going to do all of that. But what we are going to have is the gig economy, where individuals have multiple jobs and they're not tied down for years. Hey, it might be a 3-week project. It could be a 6-month project. It could be a 4-day project. But that's what the gig economy is going to bring to life. The founder of LinkedIn predicted that, Reid Hoffman. I used that in a webinar with one of my clients. So I know, off the dome, right there. Now, personal brand is going to be important because as AI replaces everything, as people have e-girlfriends, right? These AI companions, as people are consuming all their media through these AI technologies, people are going to crave novelty. They're going to crave the imperfection of the human experience. They're going to crave personal connection. And that's what I'm making the bet on, because you could go be a cyborg with your chip implant that Elon, shout out Elon, he's a G, but I will not be getting the neural link. You could go be a cyborg. You could go be a part of that breakaway species, right? Or you could come back down to earth and be a human. You could leave a lasting impact. You can do what you love. You can serve your community. You can do what the world needs and you can get paid for it. You can leave a legacy. You can walk with purpose. You can have fulfillment. Shit, we might even create some more blue zones if we all start living like this. And that's what I want to challenge people to do. The easy way is not the right way. The easy way is not the right way. Did you hear me? The easy way is not the right way. And I know that sucks to hear because trust me, I'm an opportunist. I am lazy. I'm like, shit, I'm going to take the easy way route. If I can cheat, I'm going to cheat. That's what I did in school. But that is not how life works. So you need to pick something that you can do every day out of passion and love, right? Unconditional love is what everything needs to be rooted in because that is selfless. I like to sit down and talk and share my journey because it is effortless to me. I've experienced it. I'm not forcing something. Every word that has come out of my mouth for the last 29 minutes, I've experienced. I don't need to force. I don't need to lie to you and pretend to be someone I'm not. And that is why I'm banking on personal brand, right? Because the more I talk about things that I'm passionate about and things that I think are going to serve the world, I hope you get something from that, right? I've worked with creators with hundreds of thousands of followers, over 1 million followers combined. My biggest creator, 500,000 followers. She was on Instagram. We built a software together called Done For You Reels. It helps people go viral. Scaled that to 6 figures. Another one of my creators, a business coach, scaled an offer to $1.3 million. I have the experience. I know what it takes to monetize in this market. If I told you, hey, if you have an audience right now, I know a sales acquisition channel that you can launch that you could make $200,000 in 8 weeks. Would you believe me? Because I could take your traffic, I could funnel it to a webinar, I could sit 1,500 people on a webinar, walk them through, give them immense value, and hit them with a one-time offer on the back end for $597. But not only are we going to collect that $597, we're also going to have a 1-month free trial of our subscription community for $97 a month, so you can collect that back end revenue. I'm not capping. I'm not a guru. That happened, and it will continue to happen. I invest in crypto. I'm starting to dive into AI because I want to create my own Jarvis, right? I think it'd be cool if someone had an offer where they were building Jarvises for the Tony Starks of the world, right? Hey, Jarvis, I need you to send me my Iron Man suit because shit going south. I need help. Or whatever daily task those look like in real life, right? Let's say you want to learn a language. Hey, ChatGPT, I want you to send me a notification at 5 p.m. every day with a new Spanish phrase that'll help me in conversation if I am in this remote village in Spain. That's going to be a business. Now, we kind of touched on the fact that doing what you love, doing what you're good at, doing what the world needs, and doing what you can get paid for is the path to fulfillment. So you have to sit down, you need to do a thought exercise, and you need to figure out what experience you have, right? Look at how far you've come, look at the things you've done. Tell me what fits in those 4 buckets. Go watch my video about creating your dream life in 2025 because we do a thought experiment where we break down Ikigai, and I kind of walk you through my experience, helping myself find clarity on those things. And maybe you'll be able to find some similarities in there. Maybe you'll be able to find some things that serve you in that process and help you unlock your answer to that question. I'm going to be taking content creation more seriously, and I'm going to be sitting down and actually giving you guys value. Shit, I might just rip off Dan Koh's entire brand. No, I'm just kidding. He's one of my favorite creators. I love him. Go check him out. He has ultimate clarity. He has ultimate stillness of the mind because he can distill complex thoughts, synergize multiple concepts from multiple areas of life, and bring his audience a clear, concise message that will serve them on their journey. He's someone that says, don't niche down, become the niche. The reason I went on that whole rant about, oh, I know this about the creator economy. I like to invest in crypto. I want to create Jarvises for myself. That's because that's my niche. That's who I am. I'm not going to force that. This is me authentically. That's how you find your alignment. That's how you find what you want to do for yourself. You silence the world. You silence yourself. You get alignment through finding your Ikigai, through looking at the experience you have had, reflecting on those things, and unearthing the lessons you've learned, integrating your shadow, and then making a decision that you're going to serve a demographic. You're going to improve someone's life in some way, because self-development is solving your own problems, but running a business is solving someone else's problem. So, if I have found these solutions in my life, right? I overcame the $80,000 in debt. I lost the 40,000. I lost 40 pounds. I overcome the infidelity in my relationship with my significant other. I overcame depression. I moved out, started living my own life, becoming an adult, all this, all that. I've been through some gnarly stuff, and I've created some amazing things on the other side. I've created an e-commerce business that did over $500,000 in mental health, did a lot of charity work, built a big community. I built a creator business that did over $1.5 million. I hit the full transformation, so I know the A to Z journey if that's the path you're trying to walk. If you have something similar to that, right? Let's say you are a single mom. You're working a 9-to-5, and you take a leap of faith and say, I'm going to go do digital marketing. I'm going to figure out how to capture attention on the internet and sell an offer. It doesn't even have to be your own. That's what affiliate marketing is. You just capture attention, sell someone else's product. You figure out how to do that and you start making some money, you hit the full transformation on a big demographic online. Or let's say you're a 21-year-old kid and you've tried e-commerce, you've tried SMMA, you've tried SaaS, but you take a leap of faith and you start an AI automation agency, meaning that you use the trend of AI to service businesses, to service founders, to help them integrate AI into their lives, into their businesses, and you find some success. The next transition, since you solve that for yourself, is to solve that for someone else. So that single mom or that 21-year-old that does AI, you can take that concept and start to package it on the internet in a mass production type of form. This is what we call one-to-many, right? A webinar is one-to-many. This piece of content I'm making right now is one-to-many. There's a video I made called The Game of Life and How to Play It. 438 people watched that. That's not a lot if you look at just sheer viral numbers, but if you think that 438 people sat down for 44 minutes to listen to me talk about that book, that's actually pretty crazy. That would be a full sold out banquet hall in a big hotel. That's going to be the power of the internet. That's going to be the power of one-to-many. And that's the transition that we're kind of going for. That once you solve these problems for yourself, you hit this hard reset, you come out of these areas that you wanted to improve in your life, then the next plausible step in the evolution is going to be serving others, because that gives you a purpose to continue. That gives you a reason to keep navigating these challenges and build more. Hitting a hard reset on your life is something that's going to need to be done multiple times a year, because the neurotic, outperforming, high achieving individuals are actually crazy. Like, you're actually crazy if you think it's going to be normal to sit down at the laptop 16 hours a day, be productive, do monk mode, go to the gym, do cardio. You're doing 75 hard in every area of life, in your finance, your fitness, your relationships. That is crazy, and that takes a certain type of person. I am not that type of person. Everything we've talked about in this video has served me in a peaceful manner, because if I've learned one thing, going back to the values and alignment, is that I do not want to sell my soul, to sell my peace of mind for something that I think I want. I'm always changing, so what I wanted yesterday is not what I want tomorrow. And I'm not even kidding. Yesterday I had a journal entry about an AI automation agency. Today I was like, not today. This is what I want to do. I want to be able to have this conversation. I want to be real. I want to be authentic. I want to share life experience. I want to help you guys use your darkness to fuel your greatness, because that's all we can do. That is the nature of the human experience. And if we continue self-actualizing ourselves, there's always going to be room for us to grow. I'm going to kind of come back and talk about Dan Coe. So check him out. His brand is amazing. I am a big fan. I'm a stan. Dan Coe talks about the one-person business, right? How we can take our passions and our experience and create media on the internet and sell products around them and start to change people's lives, right? You could serve as a consultant doing $1,000 for 4 calls a month. You can launch a $197 course on the internet and upsell someone a $97 guide, make about $300 average order value. You can create a software that has a subscription. I'm getting all these ideas from Dan, so check out his brand. He has Cortex. It's this creator writing second brain app that helps you organize your Kindle notes, right? So your highlights, any inputs you have from media you're consuming, where you're getting ideas, creators, newsletters, links. It's like Notion, where you have the writing aspect to it. I just downloaded it and I'm just starting to use it. I was going to use it for the video that I'm supposed to film today, but clearly, as you can see, I'm on the couch yapping, and that's what we're going to continue to do. Now, the reason I keep bringing this up is because this is the evolution. Like, this is where we're headed, whether you like it or not. So you can either start to ride the wave now and start to make a bet on your future, or you're going to get left behind. It's as simple as that. That's real. Personal brand and AI are going to be the waves that we need to ride. But you have to start small. If you fell off the horse, that is completely okay. That's why we're talking about hitting a hard reset on life. And I hope that I'm helping you kind of prime your mind and prime your subconscious for the direction you want to take. I set out with this intention to kind of help you hit a hard reset. I hope you pulled some value from this, right? Silence the world. Silence your mind. Get aligned. Find your ikigai. Have faith knowing that you can do what you love, what you're good at, something to get paid for, and something the world needs. Take those skills, serve the world, evolve, ride trends, build a brand. Start to take control of your time back. Invest in that 4-hour workday. Life's short. We need to start having this conversation, and I'm going to be having it a lot more. You guys are helping me. Even though I'm sitting here creating content for you, you're actually helping me. I was walking around my neighborhood earlier, and I was on the phone with a good friend of mine, and I was just talking about how creating content is kind of like integrating your shadow. And the reason I say that is because look at all the things we've talked about in the last 41 minutes and 30 seconds. I shared a lot of my past, a lot of the things I've been thinking, a lot of the experiences I've had. You choosing to come back and watch my videos gives me a space to filter through these things and to share with the world things that I'm thinking that I think will serve an audience. But it really serves me at the end of the day. It allows me to find more clarity on what I want to do, where I want to go, who I want to be. And now that we've kind of caught you up on how you can hit a hard reset on your life, you're kind of caught up with me. So we're going to be sharing this journey together, right? As we navigate change, you're going to watch me build this in real time because I'm going to share it on the internet. And hopefully you trust me enough to take a leap of faith and entrust me with your time, energy, and attention as a friend, a mentor, a voice, someone to listen to when you're navigating a tough time. I really do want to serve you guys. Whether that's financially and you want to get more knowledge on the future of things like personal brand and artificial intelligence, I'll do that. Whether that's spirituality and you really want to dive into the concept of self-development, rising in consciousness, rising in awareness, starting to unlock your powers, because they really don't want you to know this, but you have superpowers. When you are on an elevated spiritual plane and operating from that place, you control the physical world with your mind, with your will, with your energy, with your attention, with your focus. It's crazy. We're going to talk about that too. I'm going to have a challenge for myself. And what it's going to be is, can I make $1 million with my mind? Because I'm reading that book, Think and Grow Rich. And he says, the people who are successful are success conscious. The people who are failure conscious. So to some degree, he's saying that your scope of awareness influences the outcome you have in life, which is why if we circle back on the Think and Grow Rich concept, if you have an idea of where you want to go and a relentless will to make it happen, you're success conscious. You're saying, I don't care. Failure is just a stepping stone. It's not something I'm going to judge myself on or let beat me up. That's how you want to operate. And you have to become mentally strong, which is why the things I opened up, the how to hard reset your life, are actually shut the world up, because who cares what anyone else has to say. Silence your mind, because your programming and your ego is not your friend. It's a survival mechanism. So it's going to do what it thinks is right. But our survival mechanism looks different and it doesn't serve us. We have to become abundant and aware of potential futures that are out there for us. I'm excited. Like, for the first time in a while, I really am excited to do this. And I want to do it right. I want to serve you guys. So please engage with me. Tell me what you want. I'm going to start going live on YouTube more, because I want that to be where I build community and I just get to spend IRL time with you guys, like engage and start to understand who I'm talking to on the other side of the screen and do that in real time. Well, we're coming up on 45 minutes here. This is going to be episode 1 of blank. If you have any show ideas where you just want me to sit down and yap and you have any topics you want me to talk about, I literally did this all off the dome. I had a few things that I wanted to touch on, but I was just going to let it naturally flow. One of the things I want to do is like create content for everything you do in life, right? Whether you're working, whether you're at the gym, whether you're just on a walk, whether you just want to consume something on TV. I want to create content where I talk about a lot of innovative and evolutionary things that'll serve you, so you can start to program your mind, right? Because the first thing we talked about was, hey, you got to unplug and start to fill your mind with things that serve you, that start to kind of reprogram those habits. So I want to be that guy. I want to create that content. I want to serve you in that way. And we'll see you in the next one. I'm excited. This is a great little talk show, little podcast. Drop a comment, like, subscribe, and tell me what you want me to talk about next. Peace.